When your dog curls up beside you to watch TV, do you actually know what's going on inside their head? Most people think their dog is just along for the warmth or maybe waiting for a snack. But the truth is far more fascinating and far more emotional than that. Your dog isn't just sitting there. They're processing, reacting, and feeling things that most owners never stop to consider. And once you understand what's really happening, you'll never watch TV with your dog the same way again. Let's start with something that surprises almost everyone. 1. Your dog doesn't see what you see. Here's something most dog owners don't know. Your dog is watching a completely different show than you are. Dogs are dichromats, meaning they only have 2 types of color receptors in their eyes instead of the 3 humans have. Where you see a vivid full-color world on screen, your dog sees something closer to blue, yellow, and gray. Reds look muddy, greens look faded. That dramatic sunset scene you're tearing up over, to your dog, it's mostly a gray blur. But here's where it gets interesting. Dogs have a much higher flicker sensitivity than humans. Old TV screens refreshed at 50 to 60 frames per second, fast enough for human eyes, but to dogs it looked like a flickering strobe light. That's why older dogs barely reacted to TV at all. Modern screens refresh much faster, and that's changed everything. Today's high-definition televisions finally look like moving images to your dog, not a flickering light show. So if your dog has started paying more attention to TV in recent years, they're not imagining things. The screen finally looks real to them. And here's what no one tells you. What your dog focuses on while watching is going to reveal something deep about how they see the world and how they see you. We'll get to that at the end, and it might genuinely surprise you. 2. The sounds matter more than anything on screen. Your dog isn't watching the TV, they're listening to it. Dogs hear frequencies nearly twice the range humans can, and they process audio with remarkable precision. While you're following the plot, your dog is triangulating every sound. A dog barking on screen will make your dog's ears swivel before they even glance at the picture. A high-pitched whine, even from a nature documentary, can put them on full alert. Researchers studying dogs and television found something remarkable. Dogs who responded to on-screen animals almost always reacted to the sound first and the image second. When the audio was muted, their engagement dropped dramatically. This is also why your dog might suddenly bark at the TV during an action scene or go completely still during a nature show. They're not confused. They're deciding whether what they're hearing is a real threat or something they can ignore. Think about that. Your dog is performing a threat assessment on your Netflix queue every single evening. 3. They recognize other animals and they have opinions about them. Here's one of the most fascinating things science has confirmed about dogs and television. They can recognize other dogs on screen, and they respond to them differently than they respond to any other animal. A study published in the journal Animal Cognition found that dogs could reliably pick out images of other dogs from a variety of animal photos, even when the breeds looked nothing alike. Their brains have a specific category for dog, and it activates on screen just as it does in real life. And when your dog sees another dog on TV, their body language tells the whole story. Some dogs approach the screen tail wagging. Others go stiff and watchful. Some bark. And some, especially dogs who are very bonded to their owners, look away from the screen and look directly at you as if checking your reaction before deciding how to feel. That last one is called social referencing, and it's the same behavior human toddlers use with their parents. Your dog is watching your face to understand whether the dog on screen is a friend or a threat. They're using you as their emotional compass, and if you think that's moving, stay with me, because what I'm about to share at the end is even more powerful than that. And hey, if this is making you see your dog differently, hit that like button and subscribe. This is exactly the kind of thing more dog owners need to know. 4. Your dog can feel what's happening on screen. Can your dog actually feel emotions while watching TV? The answer, according to researchers, is yes, and the mechanism is more sophisticated than most people realize. Dogs are extraordinarily attuned to emotional cues in sound. Studies show they can distinguish between a human laughing and a human crying, between a calm voice and an angry one, and between sounds of distress and sounds of play, all within fractions of a second. That means when a character on screen is panicking, screaming, or crying, your dog isn't tuning it out. They're processing it. Their heart rate may rise, their body may tense. Some dogs will get up and move closer to their owner, not because they understand the plot, but because the emotional frequency of what they're hearing tells them something is wrong. On the flip side, Calm rhythmic TV nature documentaries with gentle narration, for example, has been shown to have a measurably soothing effect on dogs. Some shelters now play television for kennelled dogs specifically because the human voices lower stress hormones. Your dog doesn't just tolerate your TV habits, they absorb them. 5. Watching TV together is an act of trust. Here's what almost no one thinks about: for a dog to sit still and stare at a glowing rectangle for extended periods of time, they have to feel completely safe. Dogs are prey-aware animals. Even the most pampered house dog carries ancient wiring that says, "Stay alert, scan the environment, watch the exits." Sitting in one spot focused on a single point, not watching the room that goes against everything their instincts are built for. When your dog settles in beside you for movie night, they're not just being lazy, they're making a decision. They're saying, "This person makes me feel safe enough to let my guard down. I don't need to watch the room, I can just exist here." Research on canine attachment consistently shows that dogs feel most secure in the physical presence of their primary attachment figure, their person. Your presence doesn't just comfort them, it literally changes how their nervous system functions. Their cortisol levels drop, their breathing slows, they regulate. You are the reason that they can relax into the couch. The TV is just background noise. 6. Some dogs get genuinely hooked on certain shows. This might sound like something you'd share as a funny story, but it's backed by real behavior science. Dogs do develop preferences. Some are drawn to programming that features fast-moving animals, dogs, squirrels, birds. Others are more engaged by shows with lots of human voices. And a surprising number of dogs will return to a spot on the couch specifically when a familiar show's theme music plays, having learned to associate that sound with the routine of being close to their owner. Dog TV, a channel specifically designed for dogs, was built entirely around this research. It uses colors. Dogs can actually see movement patterns calibrated to their vision and sounds pitched to canine hearing. Dogs tested with Dog TV showed measurably lower anxiety compared to silence or standard programming. But here's the kicker. In most studies, dogs shown Dog TV alongside their owner were calmer and more engaged than dogs watching alone. The content mattered less than the company. Your dog isn't really watching the show, they're watching it with you. And to them, that's the whole point. 7. What your dog is really doing when they look away from the screen and look at you. Remember earlier when I mentioned that some dogs look away from the TV and look directly at their owner when something intense happens on screen? That moment, that split-second glance, is one of the most emotionally significant things your dog does. It's called a check-in, and behaviorists consider it one of the clearest signals of a secure, bonded relationship. Your dog isn't distracted. They're not bored. They're doing something deeply intentional. They're confirming that you're okay, and they're letting you confirm that they are too. In a world full of confusing sounds and flickering images, in a room where something on the screen might be a threat and might not be, your dog turns to you. Not to another dog, not to a window, to you, because you're the one who tells them how to feel. You're the one who makes the world make sense. So the next time you're on the couch and your dog tears their eyes away from the screen to look at your face, look back. Blink slowly, let your shoulders drop. Because what they're asking in the only language they have is, "Are we safe?" And you get to be the one who answers, "Yes, we are."